In the middle of the night, something strange falls from the sky and crashes into the desert. The loud impact wakes a hunter and his dog. The dog runs toward the crash, but quickly returns, barking and terrified. The hunter grabs his gun, ready for danger, when he hears a deep roar echoing in the dark. The next morning, a girl named Renee says goodbye to her dead pet lizard and burns it on the grill. She reminds her mother, Linda, to drive her to the store because she needs food for her snake. Linda clearly dislikes her daughter's choice of pets. When Linda's boyfriend, Chase, joins them for breakfast, Renee ignores him and he scolds her for not greeting him. As she leaves, Renee scratches his van in anger. At school, Renee keeps to herself while others make fun of her. During lunch, she sits with Gil, another outcast, but barely talks. Later, when school ends, her mother arrives late to pick her up. Renee quickly notices that Linda didn't go to work that day. She guesses that her mom and Chase had another fight and tells her to break up with him. Linda explains that Chase needs her and she likes being needed. At home, Renee feeds her creepy pets and plays her banjo, realizing her snake is her only real friend. During dinner, Chase mentions the scratches on his van and blames Renee indirectly, but Linda changes the subject. When Chase complains about the bad smell in the microwave, Renee says she used it to warm a dead rat for her snake. Disgusted, Chase yells at her, and when Renee talks back, he throws chips at her face. Upset, Renee runs outside and hears her mom arguing with him again. She gets on her ATV and drives into the desert to calm down. While driving, she finds an overturned truck and a large crater. Suddenly, a terrifying creature appears and roars. Renee hides as the monster struggles to move, chained to the truck. After several attempts to break free, collapses in pain. Renee realizes it's caught in a trap. She hesitates, but decides to help. She removes the chain and runs back to her ATV as the creature screeches in pain. When she gets home, Renee sees Linda comforting Chase and feels too angry to go inside. The next morning, helicopters fly over the desert, and Renee worries about the creature. She spends the morning planning how to help it and asks Gil for his mother's video camera, offering her homework in return. At home, Linda and Chase want to talk, and Chase gives Renee his 24-hour sober coin. Renee reminds him he drank last night, but he insists he's trying. After he leaves, she drops the coin, saying he never even apologized. Later, Renee writes a note saying she's busy with homework so no one will disturb her. Then she steals Chase's truck keys and finds mini vodka bottles and a gun inside. Taking what she needs, she drives back to the desert. Using binoculars, she finds the creature lying in the crater. She fires the gun into the air to test its reaction, but it doesn't move. Thinking it's dead, she sets up the camera and walks closer. Suddenly, the creature jumps on her, pinning her down. It sniffs her and drools on her before backing away. Renee finally sees it clearly. It's an alien. She offers it an apple, but it throws it aside. When helicopters fly by again, Renee tells the alien that the people in them are dangerous. That evening, she returns home and realizes she dropped Chase's gun in the desert. She finds him drinking on the couch, and when he asks for his keys, she pretends not to know. Stepping outside, she's shocked to see the alien hiding in the bushes. It won't leave, so she gets on her ATV and drives toward the desert, hoping it will follow. In the desert, she loses sight of it. Suddenly, the alien appears in front of her and opens its mouth, releasing golden waves that cover her face. Renee floats in the air with glowing eyes. When she regains consciousness, it's morning, and the alien is asleep. Renee decides she can't abandon it. She names it Croak and hides it in her cellar. Meanwhile, helicopters and search teams are still scanning the desert for the object that fell. The next morning, Renee pretends to go to school, calls her mom to confirm she's at work, and brings Croak into the house. She tries feeding it, but it refuses everything. She introduces it to her pets, but stops it from eating them. When she plays her banjo, Croak's scales tremble, and she gently assures it she protect it. Later, Linda comes home early from work, feeling depressed. She sees a photo from Chase showing his 48-hour sober token and breaks down crying. Inside, Renee is watching TV with Croak and panics when she hears her mom's car. She hides Croak in the cellar. When Linda enters, she sees a mess and takes her medicine to calm down. Soon, Gil visits to get his camera. Linda lets him go to Renee's room, where he looks at a photo of her late father. Renee catches Gil watching the tape of Croak and says it's just a strange animal she saw. She finds out he's taken the tape and demands it back. They argue until Linda interrupts. After she leaves, Gil threatens to go to the police unless she tells him the truth. Renee takes him to the cellar. Croak tries to attack Gil, but Renee calms it and says he's a friend. When Croak sniffs him, Gil faints. After waking up, he sees Croak again, and Renee sings softly, making Croak's scales ripple. Gil finally believes it's peaceful and returns the tape, promising to keep the secret. Neither of them notice Agent Brown watching and taking photos. That night, Renee goes to the cellar, plays her banjo, and talks to Croak about her dad. She tries feeding it again, but it still refuses. The next day, Gil tells her Croak probably doesn't want to be fed, it wants to hunt. That evening, they take Croak to a canyon and release pigs for it to eat. After hunting, Croak brings a piece of meat to Renee as a gift. When she tries to hug Gil, Croak growls protectively. Later, Renee goes home, but Chase, drunk again, attacks her and demands his gun. When she admits she lost it, he says she doesn't respect him because she doesn't fear him. He grabs her by the hair, throws her against the wall, and starts choking her. Linda rushes in and pulls him away. Meanwhile, Croak senses the noise, shakes the cellar walls, and nearly breaks free. After several minutes, it stops. Linda throws Chase out for good, smashing a bottle to make sure he leaves. Renee refuses to speak to her mother and goes to the cellar to comfort Croak before falling asleep there. The next morning, Agent Jonathan approaches Renee and shows her the missing gun. He warns her to call him with information or he'll return with a warrant. Meanwhile, Linda calls a plumber because the water isn't working. The plumber goes to the cellar, sees Croak, panics, and attacks it. Croak bites him, and he flees in terror, crashing his van on the road. When Renee comes home, Linda tries to talk seriously, but Renee shouts at her instead. Linda breaks down and goes to her room. Renee runs to the cellar and sees blood on the floor, both the plumber's and Croak's. Realizing she can't keep it there anymore, she decides to let it go. That night, she meets Gil and tells him her plan to take Croak far away to a safe place. Gil confesses that Agent Brown threatened him, but insists he didn't tell the truth. Renee hides Croak in a large box in the desert and goes home to pack. She writes a letter to her mother, frees her pets, and prepares to leave. Before she can go, a drunken Chase appears with a gun. He forces Renee and Linda to sit with him, ranting that no one loves him. He throws furniture in anger. Meanwhile, agents find the empty box in the desert. Croak has escaped and is heading home. As Chase attacks Linda, Renee tries to run, but Chase grabs her and slams her against the van. Suddenly, Croak bursts from the darkness, tackling Chase and killing him. Renee begs Croak to stop, but it roars and runs away. Gil arrives, shocked by the scene. He admits the agents are coming. Moments later, Jonathan and his team surround the house. Renee is captured, tied to a chair, and connected to a machine that measures her link with Croak. When Jonathan breaks her finger, she screams and Croak hears her from miles away. It storms the house, fights through traps and guards, and finally finds Renee. She convinces it not to kill Jonathan or Brown. She frees herself with Jonathan's keys, and together, she and Croak escape. Outside, Jonathan shoots at them. Gil appears and warns Renee in time. Croak shields her, but Jonathan fires repeatedly, hitting the alien. Croak still manages to kill Jonathan before collapsing. Renee holds it, crying as it dies. Linda and Gil rush to comfort her. Sometime later, the three share a quiet picnic, trying to move on. In a secret lab, scientists begin studying Croak's body. Then, suddenly, its eyes open.